Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Speaking Aiders. Today, we're going to discuss about a small writing tip which is very useful for everyone. Myself, Ringu Joni. Without further ado, let's start the video. In this section, I'm going to explain you how to utilize your 5 minutes in order to write a proper B grade letter. I was always following a 5 step verification and confirmation process, or we can call them level of parameters, 5 levels of parameters. And again, I'm going to explain you how to plan your letter, how we can plan a proper letter within 45 minutes time. During my studying period, when I was writing a letter, I always divided my 45 minutes into three different periods or three different areas. The first one was planning and marking the relevancy. Second was writing, and the last one was for proofreading. So we always have 5 minutes for reading time. Along with that, I was always using another 5 minutes in order to understand the task and mark the relevancy by numbering. Secondly, I was writing for 30 minutes. Last, I was using always 5 minutes for proofreading in order to rectify my mistakes. Now, I'm sure that everyone is thinking, how is it possible to write a letter in 30 minutes? Meanwhile, we all are struggling to write a letter in 40 minutes time, and we still need more time to write. I can assure that if you have a proper planning and if you have a good understanding about the task and if you know how to select relevant data, we can easily write a task in 30 minutes time. So, I'm going to explain the 5 criterias which I was using when I was writing a letter. Let's see what are they in an order. Step 1. Who you writing to? It means to whom you are writing. Again, I'll clarify it. What is the name of the person you are writing the letter to? It can be to a doctor, or it can be to a nurse, it can be to a physiotherapist, or to a social worker. It can be to anyone. നിങ്ങൾ ആർക്കാണ് ഈ ലെറ്റർ എഴുതുന്നത് എന്ന് ആദ്യമേ തന്നെ നോക്കുക. Again, you can find this data in your writing task at the end with a heading of writing task. For example, using the information in the case notes, write a letter of referral to Dr. Susan Wang. Or you can find the second example, using the information given in the case note, write a letter of discharge to Mrs. Edith Penny. So here we have two examples, who you writing to. Step 2. What is the job role or title? In some letters, there won't be any name. Instead of that, they'll be simply mentioning, write a letter to a neurologist or write a letter to a community nurse. If that's the case, then you need to know what's the job role or job title. അതായത് ചില ലെറ്ററുകളിൽ ചിലപ്പോൾ പേര് തന്നിട്ടുണ്ടാവില്ല, ഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിരിക്കും തന്നിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അതൊന്ന് ശ്രദ്ധിച്ച് വയ്ക്കുക, അതനുസരിച്ച് വേണം നമ്മൾ എഴുതാനായിട്ട്. In a letter, most of the time when the name is not given, we have a habit of writing dear sir or madam. But OIT recommends to write the job title. For example, like dear doctor or dear community nurse or dear director. Let's see an example. In this example again, you know that the first example, we know that we are writing a letter to Dr. Susan Wang and he is a general practitioner. So it's simple that we know he is a doctor. So when you write the greeting line, we can write dear Dr. Wang. Or the second example, we know we are writing a letter to community nurse. If in case the name is not mentioned, then we can write, as I said before, dear doctor, dear nurse, dear director. Step 3. What is your role? This is one of the easiest part to identify, as we all know which profession we belongs to. A doctor, a nurse, either a physiotherapist or a dietitian. For example, you can find here, you are a registered nurse working at the Fremont Community Hospital. Now we know what is our role. Or you can see you are the charge nurse. Sometimes we can see you are an emergency department nurse, or you are the head nurse, or you are the community nurse. So that's the third one. What is your role? Another example or another suggestion I would like to give you, most of us we write at the end of our writing, we write yours sincerely or yours faithfully, registered nurse. But in order to get a complete professional attachment to our letter, it's better to write what is given in the task. If it is mentioned you as you are a charge nurse, I prefer to end your task by yours faithfully, charge nurse, or yours faithfully, emergency department nurse. Step 4, the most important criteria in your letter: identifying the purpose and diagnosis or chief complaint. If you can find the exact purpose and the diagnosis or chief complaint, I can assure you, you can easily get a grade B score, because the remaining part we can easily identify. And identifying the purpose and diagnosis is very important for your introduction. Let's see an example here. Refer to his GP for regular follow-up visits and dosage adjustment. So that's the purpose. Diagnosis is given here: heart failure secondary to recurrent myocardial infarction. So how we will write? I'm writing regarding Mr. X, who requires regular follow-up visits and dosage adjustment owing to heart failure secondary to recurrent myocardial infarction. I'm just seeing an example. Or we can find second example where a patient is having unstable diabetes mellitus and currently he or she is having small infected left foot ulcer. These days we can find in the OET letter the purpose will be written in the discharge advice also. For example, this letter, the writing task says continued care, and a second purpose was written in the discharge advice: prepare a letter to the community nurse emphasizing the needs for an overall lifestyle plan. So be careful when we write the introduction. Try to include both datas: continued care and need of an overall lifestyle plan. And I hope that's clear for everyone. Step 5. What type of letter you're writing? And is it a known or an unknown case? How we will identify it? Example, you can find here. In the writing task, it says, using the information in the case notes, write a letter of referral. Second example, you can see, write a letter of discharge. So we can write accordingly. And again, we need to check, is it a known case or an unknown case? Sometimes we can see, using the information given in the case note, write a letter of discharge to Mrs. Edith Penny, Mr. John's community nurse. Then we can identify it as the non-case letter. Or sometimes we can identify with the address provided, where the patient came from and where the patient going back. So if it is a non-case letter, then we don't have to write what happened before. We only need to write what exactly happened during the hospital stay. So we can directly start during hospitalization, and I hope that's clear. Let's repeat again. What were the criterias? So the first one, who you writing to? Example, Dr. Susan Wang, or if it is to a nurse, Mrs. Edith Penny, or if it is to a physiotherapist, whatever it may be. Second thing, what is the job title? Either you are writing a letter to the GP, doctor, community nurse, physiotherapist, social worker. It can be anything. Third one, what is your role? Are you an RN, registered nurse, charge nurse, head nurse, nurse in charge, doctor? It can be anything. Fourth, purpose and diagnosis or chief complaint. Is this the letter for continued or ongoing care for nurses, or follow-up or further care for doctors? Lastly, type of letter, or is it a known or unknown case? Referral, discharge, urgent, transfer. So these are the 5 criteria I always followed. Who you writing to, what is the job role, what is your role, purpose and diagnosis or chief complaint, what type of letter. If you can identify these 5 parameters, 50% done in your writing task. Remember again, we are not allowed to write during the first 5 minutes of preparation. So plan accordingly. Now let's discuss some extra tips. So the first tip I was using to mark the relevant data or to mark what I was planning to write. For example, I always number present data as number 1 always wherever in the writing task. If there is past history mentioned, I was writing 2 wherever it is, and 3 for social and 4 for the discharge advice. Maybe sometimes we can find the discharge advice during the nursing management and discharge advice also. So if you can number it accordingly, once you're writing the letter, it will be easy for you to identify and not to lose any relevant data. Another suggestion is whenever you write an urgent letter, always start with the today's data. What happened today, followed by the previous history. Whenever you are writing a letter to a social worker, always start with social history. And do not mention in too details about what happened in the hospital, especially with the medications. Again, when you write a letter to a dietitian or a physiotherapist or to a social worker, you can simply write for which she is on regular medications rather than writing like aspirin, paracetamol, all these things, because there is nothing to be done from the dietitian or the physiotherapist or the social worker even if we provide the medication details. So it's better to not to write the medication names. Another thing, when it comes to dietitian, it's better to write with the social history and diet related things. For example, the height, weight, what type of diet, and is she following what if she having any gastrointestinal problems, all these datas. Lastly, proofreading. Always make sure that the data he or she spelling errors during that 5 minutes of preparation. Sorry, it's not preparation, during the 5 minutes of proofreading. Like if I remember correctly, when I wrote the exam, the task was about a female patient, and the introduction I written as Missy something, but all the body parts I was writing he and him, his, everything. But when I get managed, or when I was proofreading, I was able to change to she, her, all these details. So please make sure you do have proofreading and you correct the relevant data accordingly. Like if it is a referral letter, we will be providing present history followed by the past history and social history if needed. If a letter which is a known case, do not write the known case like the social history and the past history. If the patient is if the patient came from the old age home, do not write what with the complaints of. Start during hospitalization what we did. So these are the tips, and I hope these were very useful to everyone, and all the best to all. Thank you guys. Keep supporting us. Please subscribe our channel for more contents, because I can see from the analytics 70% of them are just watching and not subscribing the channel. So in order to get the correct updates and proper details about OET, please subscribe our channel Speaking Aiders. And like I said before, I wish the very best to everyone. Let your dreams may come true. And what else, we will be back with our next video, and it will be about a review about the latest exam speaking topics. So see you soon. Meanwhile, keep well. Bye.